This day 80, Monday, September 7th of 2020. This is Labor Day. I camped in this little tree cove. Had my hammock between that tree and that tree. And believe it or not, I had enough room to put my tarp. I've about got everything packed up. And it's a shocker, but it's just 7 o'clock in the morning. We'll come check out Webster Cliffs. And there, I don't know how well it shows up, but there's a river bed. That's where we got water. So in a mile and a half we climbed up here. It was pretty steep. And I'm assuming that's the AMC Center, but I don't know for sure. It could be part of the state park. It's all nice and sunny that direction, so. The clouds don't look very thick, so hopefully they'll be burned off. And we can get some good views from Washington today. We're a little bit higher up Mount Webster now. The cliff down there is where I was at this morning. It's definitely cloudy at the moment, but it's not too bad. At least you get a little bit of a view. I still think it'll clear off as the day goes by. But we're pretty close to the top of Mount Webster. So the next camp spot is 19 miles from where we camped last night. Which I looked on gut hooks yesterday, or last night. I did 15.8 miles yesterday. So that'd be my longest day so far. My days before that were 14 something. Yeah, I really hope the clouds burn off. It was supposed to be clear weather. I hadn't had the cell reception to check the weather in a few days. I get to the first hut. They should have the weather forecast. I had that second burrito for dinner last night. And then that Pepsi from the Trail Magic. I had it and a Pop-Tart for breakfast. I was going to have hot chocolate and a Snickers, but it wasn't super cold this morning, and I didn't want to break the stove out just for hot chocolate. And still carry the Pepsi, so Pepsi and Pop-Tarts. That's the breakfast of champions right there. I have a feeling we're going to have a lot of this today. You almost have to be part mountain goat in some places, I swear. Yeah, it looks like we're going up that. And then we're going to go across. I think that's Mount Jackson over there. We'll find out. So after double checking, that up there is the top of Mount Webster, not Mount Jackson. We're still climbing Webster. It looks like the clouds are starting to burn off a little. The top of that mountain, the whole top of it was in clouds earlier. So hopefully we have a good day. If I can just find out where the trail's at. It kind of looks like a blaze there. Maybe at one time. And this trail's going uphill, so it has to be the AT. I don't see how those guys that use those external frame packs can ever walk the AT. Be getting, because they sit like 3 foot above your head. I'd be getting hung on every tree limb I come to. So I just climbed up this, and we gotta go up that. When I get done with the AT, I'll take up rock climbing. I'll be a pro at it. Now we gotta climb this. Almost there. So we made it over the top of Webster. There was several people up there, surprisingly, this early in the day. They came up on these side trails. Oh, we're 2.9 miles from the Mizpah Hut. It's almost 10 o'clock. And now we're going to Mount Jackson. Somebody discarded their basket and the rubber tip. Mount Jackson. This is the backside of Mount Jackson. I think that little speck there is the hut. And I believe we're just going to walk that mountain ridge that way. So I'm leaving the Mizpah Spring Hut. The weather forecast is good today, so it's looking pretty good. We got 14.8 miles left. This hut is closing tomorrow, but they still had hot food, so had a fried egg and cheese bagel and some chocolate chip cookies. And there's another hut that's like 4 miles away, so I may grab something from there as well if they're still open. So I expect at the rate we're going, probably have to finish the day with some night hiking, but we should be over the worst of it by then, I hope. We got a little bit of a view, but not much. So that mountaintop with the trees should be Mount Pierce, which is the one we're climbing. And then we have Eisenhower and Jefferson, or Franklin. But anyway, that big one up there with the cloud on top, it was just exposed with this nasty rocky head. Should be Washington. And it probably doesn't show up on the camera, but that whole ridge across there is just rocks. Sort of makes for a fun afternoon. As long as the clouds keep moving through. We'll get some good views. Yeah, so that's Washington, the high peak in the distance. See all the radar towers on top of it. That's super cool. So it looks like we're just going to go down and up over that ridge, and doesn't look too bad, does it? Apparently, that's Mount Eisenhower, and we're not going over that. The AT is going to split to the right up here and go around Eisenhower. But you can see back top of Mount Pierce where we were about an hour ago. Like 2 miles from the Lake of the Cloud Hut. And this wind is something today. So we split off from the Eisenhower Trail, and that's where the AT is going. Backside of Eisenhower. I tell you, the wind coming up that mountain there was brutal. It's bad enough climbing uphill, but when you have to push against the high wind, it makes it even worse. I don't know why it couldn't have been blowing the other way, you know, kind of pushed me up over the mountain. Washington doesn't look so far away now. Oh, it almost looks like another world up here. If it wasn't for the tufts of grass and moss, and it would almost look like the surface of Mars. At least Washington's staying clear for the most part. The clouds are staying high. Just stay that way for a little bit longer. Yeah, if the wind would die down, this would be perfect. The cloud cover's high, blocking the sun. But that wind at times is brutal. The trail in some places isn't too bad. But look at the scenery. I come up over all that and then kind of skirting around this one. And we're going to go around and catch Washington. Which, speak of the devil, there it is. At least the wind's a lot calmer over on this side for now. Once we get past that mountain, I'll probably be back in the wind again. And then feel like we're getting blown off the top of Mount Washington. I had a question on one of my other videos about the tops of the mountains not having trees and stuff. Well, like right now, we're over 5,000 feet above sea level. And the alpine zone is where the trees are 8 foot or shorter. So like there's a few trees, but they're never going to get big. And it just has to do with the elevation of the mountain. There's just only certain plants that can survive. Well, I made it to the Lake of the Cloud Hut. I don't know if it's still open or not, but we'll see shortly. And there's Washington. They should still have the weather posted, so I'll go ahead and get one more update on that. Kind of cool, they got this little pond up here. I guess that's the Lake of the Clouds. The hut was closed at 4, so I was like right at 4. That's alright, I needed to keep going anyway. The last time I had to walk across rocks that was piled on this many rocks was Pennsylvania. And most of these moved. But at least they're not as sharp and jagged. They are a little weathered. We're not too much further. And it does look like it's going to stay a clear day. We're almost there. The wind is horrible, but the views are clear. Wind is something else. So we're leaving Mount Washington now. Had to put my raincoat on. Cut back some of that wind. Man. It's not much good for a rain jacket. I noticed the waterproof liner on the inside is starting to deteriorate. But I've had this jacket for like 5 years. It don't last forever, but it still works good as a windbreak. Ooh, that was cold. But man, the views are awesome.